Hello everyone and welcome to WUDuP, which is our new vodcast on our YouTube channel. We were WCTV YouTube. We are now Waynesburg University Digital Productions, and instead of being the WCTV Executive Vodcast, this is now just WUDuP. So today I have joining me Ray Beck and Brennen McCall.
Hi.
How are you two doing?
Fantastic.
Good. I'm a little tired. I stayed up till 2 o'clock last night watching Game of Thrones. Great show.
Oh, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones already?
We could. I watched the second episode of the 6th season, so...
This is a big season.
It is a big season so far. I'm not through it yet, but...
I know, you're very out of the loop on this, correct?
Yeah, I don't even know how many seasons are on.
6.
Oh, okay.
The 7th is coming up this year, right? At some point?
7th is coming up this year. It's going to start later than the show normally starts because they shot later in the year to make it look more wintry.
I like it.
Where do they shoot?
I'm
Like
actually
New
not sure
Zealand
where
or
they shoot.
something, like Lord of the Rings?
I honestly don't know. I would imagine someplace like Scandinavia, just because a lot of the scenery there is with the rolling mountains and everything.
Yeah.
I would imagine more of a European.
Definitely not in America.
No,
That's not likely.
it's too pretty.
I don't know. We could look it up, but the thing I like about Game of Thrones, so you're getting to the point where it all starts to narrow down,
Yeah.
and because at the beginning of the show there are so many characters, and there's just
They just get
so
killed off.
much going on. And yes, that's the beautiful thing about Game of Thrones is no one is safe, but because of that, you accept the fact that people are going to die, and you are okay with it. It's not like, The Walking Dead, where people say if Daryl dies, we riot. It's like in Game of Thrones, if the beloved character dies, you accept it and move on.
What I found interesting too, and I came to this realization pretty recently, was even all the villains in the show and characters that I didn't really care for in the first few seasons, they start to have negative consequences happen to them later on, but I start to feel sympathy for them. So it's kind of strange where you have these characters that all have done horrible, terrible things, but at the same time, horrible, terrible things happens to them, and you kind of see that they're not all evil in every single way. So it's been a great show so far, extremely well done. I'm excited to see how it ends and what happens in the next season.
So you know now that Jon Snow is alive.
Yes, I was so upset when he died, and I was very, very upset.
It's not a spoiler though, because we're beyond it, and it was actually such a pulp culture thing at the time that you can't spoil that for anyone.
Yeah,
Um,
but
I mean, I may have spoiled it for you, but as far as people that actually may watch the show, if you know anything about the show, you know that this happened and that he's not dead.
Yeah, but going through in the season, they kept kind of teasing a little bit here and there that, hey, he's going to be sticking around a little bit, because most of the characters that die on the show, it's not like they show up later on, or they keep hinting that, oh, this person may or may not come back. They're pretty much dead. So
Yeah, well, there are 2 main characters. And that's the hard thing to notice. You watch from the beginning and you don't know who the main characters are, because the people you think that are the main characters constantly die. And now at the end of the show, you've come to realize there are 2 main characters. And I can name them. I don't know if you can name them at this point.
The Dragon Princess? Khaleesi?
That's one.
yeah.
See, you've never even
one
seen
so
the show.
far.
Khaleesi.
I would say another one might be. I was going to say her name mixed up. Is it Arya Stark?
Arya?
Or Arya Stark?
No, she's more of a supporting character.
Supporting character.
It's Jon Snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have also said Tyrion.
Supporting character.
Supporting character.
Yes.
It sucks because they have a ton of screen time through all these characters. It's just tough to point out who is the main character.
It takes until at least season 5, if not season 6, to realize that the main characters are Daenerys Targaryen, Khaleesi, and Jon Snow.
Jon Snow's my favorite. That's why I was so upset when
They make him so
betrayed.
insignificant at the beginning, and then they slowly build him up and build him
Yeah,
up. And,
yeah.
Um,
I've had a lot of mixed emotions throughout the whole show.
yeah, that's kind of the...
It sucks you in, makes you want to be part of it.
I hate Ramsay. Ramsay's the worst.
Everybody hates Ramsay. I saw a top 20 villains of all time, and there were supernatural villains, people that committed mass genocide, and Ramsay Bolton was above them on that list.
Yeah. See, I hated Joffrey, but Ramsay has the ability to rule more than Joffrey does, which is why I think it makes him a much better villain.
I think it was Joffrey was a ruler, and that is the only way that he was a villain, because he was still a child.
Ruler or ruler?
Ruler.
Oh, okay.
He was the king, but he was like 17 or whatever, and he was immature and a whack job. And Ramsay is like in his 20s and kind of just like he
knows what he's doing.
His father had him out of wedlock, and so he's like, he has authority in the family and over a lot of people, but he's not the top dog, and he uses his authority to abuse people constantly.
Oh, lovely.
In interesting ways that I don't think we can talk about on this. Those details are a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole show's a tad bit inappropriate.
Yeah, just a bit. That's why it's on HBO.
Only on HBO.
Yes. Anyways, so Brennan, you went to Bonaire?
Yeah, I went to Bonaire. It's part of the ABC Caribbean Netherlands, just above the country of Venezuela. Very beautiful place. Our luck, we showed up in the rainy season. They haven't had a rainy season since 2011, so I actually got to cut grass while I was down there, which was pretty cool. We work with a company called Transworld Radio, and their job is to reach areas of the or areas of the world where Christianity is very low or may not be socially acceptable in those cultures, and they try to reach those areas. One of the main areas they want to reach is Cuba, where Christianity was just recently accepted. With the years of Fidel Castro, Christianity was kind of illegal, and they wouldn't allow anybody to openly worship the Lord. And that percentage now is 8%, and they're hoping to see that increase in the next few years. They're looking to expand and increase their wattage to 450 watts. And just to put that into perspective, the biggest radio station in the U.S. is only allowed to have 50 watts. So 450 can reach a lot of large places.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. Got to do a lot of stuff throughout the whole year. It was good to send students down there and kind of experience the culture down there. We got to see down there for New Year's Eve. We got there New Year's Eve, got to experience what New Year's was like in a new culture. It was just like a finale of a fireworks show here in the U.S., but all around the island, everywhere, till like 3 in the morning. It was insane. It was non-stop fireworks. It just blew my mind. It was crazy how many fireworks there were, just non-stop. Pow, 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 pow.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And another thing about like their wattage, I believe that they're located where they are on air because instead of just like broadcasting like our radio stations do in the United States, they actually aim at the ocean to bounce it up into the atmosphere and go even farther than like typically like 50 watts would go in the United States.
Yeah, they're able to reach some areas of Africa, which is clear across the ocean, and I hear in some cases some areas of Russia as well, just because how far the waves travel. Once you bounce them off the ocean, they can travel clear up in the atmosphere, bounce off the atmosphere, and end up in other areas on the other side of the globe, which is pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
So with them expanding to 450. The hope is that they'll be able to reach a lot more places where people need the gospel. So that's what they're trying to do.
You said that it's owned by the Netherlands?
Yeah. The Caribbean Netherlands are just this group of islands: Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. It was interesting. The first people who came in and discovered those islands, inhabited them, brought a ton of donkeys with them, and when they left the donkeys there. So one of the attractions, the animal attractions there, are these wild donkeys that just kind of roam around, and they've actually become a big nuisance because they walk around and chew on stuff, and they're kind of like deer. People hit them and stuff. So the past few years, they've been having a donkey sanctuary where they round up all these donkeys and they put them in an enclosure. They haven't gotten them all yet. There's still a couple running around somewhere, but the hope is to get them all round up and just kind of have a nice safe place for them, for the donkeys to hang out.
I was just kind of wondering, like, what the culture is like down there.
The culture is very mixed. There's a great influence of Dutch culture. A couple of the people that we worked down there were Dutch. There was one fella who worked there who was Canadian. One guy was from South Africa. So there was a lot of different accents going on. But the main language that's there is Papiamento, which I don't think it's similar to Spanish in some ways, but it's just different. But the culture down there is very much more of a southern, more of a south of the border type of feel, I guess you could say. But there is a pretty decent mix of cultures. There's a lot of people that come from the more English-speaking areas, like some places over in Europe and America, because it's one of the biggest locations for snorkeling. It's one of the biggest areas for parasailing and for windsurfing. So a lot of different cultures go there specifically for that, because a lot of the whole side of the island is a very calm area, because only some of the waves are rough on one end of the island. So there's a stretch of 20 miles or so where the whole ocean's pretty easy going, and it's just the wind. So it makes it a hot spot for a lot of snorkeling, a lot of diving, things like that.
Sounds awesome. Did you do any of that? Or was it mostly just work?
I did not. I, for the most part, did a lot of work. We had some free time early Saturday, which is the day that we left. And I went snorkeling early that day. So we got to swim with some fish, got my foot on a piece of coral. So, yeah.
So that actually ties into our next topic with different cultures, and this is something that you and I talk about a lot, because we are in the Pittsburgh area for the most part, and you are from very, very far away.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from and what it's like there compared to here?
All right. Well, I'm from Arizona, Phoenix to be exact. It's day and night difference from here. The culture, the landscape, pretty much everything. And this is a much more rural area, and so we're not in the heart of Pittsburgh, but where I'm from, you can drive 5 minutes, get any type of food you want, go anywhere, like movie theaters. There's 5 malls surrounding my house, so that's a big difference. And also weather. It's freezing right now. I mean, we've had pretty nice weather this last week as far as temperature goes, but when I was back in Arizona for winter break, it was 75, 80 degrees. I was wearing shorts, it was beautiful. The desert is amazing. I love the desert. That's my favorite thing about it. People think it's, dry and ugly. I think it's beautiful. Plus, you can drive an hour north of where I live, and it's mountains and lots of forests. And it's different than here. Here we have woods, but forests are different. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's beautiful. I love it. It's my favorite state. So hopefully I can go back after graduating, but there seems to be a lot of job opportunities out here. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're in college. We gotta do what we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is becoming more and more of a hotspot for a lot of different companies. I know, go back to the media. A lot of movies are being shot here over the past few years. Something being like The Dark Knight was shot here.
They did that movie with Taylor Lautner.
Oh yeah.
They did Jack Reacher.
Yeah, Jack.
I can't remember the name of the Taylor Lautner movie.
Yeah,
I know he's like wearing a Pirates jersey
do
in
very well.
all the trailers.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was still around making.
Oh, that was back during the Twilight saga, when he was a big deal.
Where is he now? Sort of situation.
Yeah, so I think it was over Thanksgiving break. I went back to my high school for a day, and I found out that they have a new partnership with this organization in Pittsburgh that works on movies like that, and they actually have students now basically doing internships, but as high schoolers for these production companies as like assistant producers, and I thought that was great. I was kind of upset that like I missed out on that, but it seems like it's a great opportunity. Pittsburgh's obviously growing in the film market, and
Or just like media in general, I feel like.
I think I mean we're sizable, so as far as like media in general goes, I think we're about on par. I don't think that we're this huge media hub. At least I mean we might be, and I just am totally unaware of this. But I feel like we're just on par with like a city of our size as far as like general media. But as far as film goes, we are getting bigger. And I guess what's that new show? This Is Us. Is that shot in Pittsburgh?
I have no idea. Yeah, that's an NBC show, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it. My aunt is in love with that show. It's so dramatic.
A lot of people
I know
are.
the one guy has a terrible towel in the trailer.
Well, Steelers fans are everywhere. I'm a Steelers fan and I'm from Arizona, so.
How'd you become a Steelers fan?
My father was a Steelers fan, so I was born and raised.
There we go.
Didn't have a choice. Oh, well, all my family's from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it wasn't just a random, oh, they're a good team, so I'm going to pick them.
Mm.
I just looked into them being an amazing team.
There you go.
So, yeah, I'm a Pittsburgh fan.
Good.
Yeah. The D-backs are my number one, though. Go D-backs. Baseball.
You know, I don't like the Pirates. They ruined my childhood. So, you be a D-backs fan all you want. I'm a Detroit Tigers fan.
Oh, Raven.
I don't follow baseball, but if I did, it would be the Pirates because, you know, I'm from Pittsburgh, so. Yeah.
This is
Sport,
hard.
huh?
We're talking sport ball.
I know.
And the sport ball people aren't here. Like, you're a sport ball person, so it would work. But, like, you're stuck with the two people that don't really sport ball.
I mean, I have sport ball. I
little bit.
love hockey.
You
I
sport puck.
really enjoy.
Yeah,
sport
see,
puck.
you're a hockey and NASCAR guy.
Yeah,
from
I
what
love
I've
it. I
gathered.
love racing. Love racing. But I watch a lot of football too. I've gotten into it the past few years.
Okay.
What about
Like
basketball?
Basketball, not so much basketball. I have tremendous respect for it, but it's too much of a non-contact sport for me. Like I know that there is contact, and you know it can be very physical at times, and you have to be an extreme athlete, but you get penalties for touching somebody's arm when they take a shot.
I feel like it's also kind of slow, and I know it's back and forth,
Mhm.
but it's not a lot of action.
It's too much. It's too much scoring for me. Like say if it's, I guess for people who watch soccer can relate. Like whenever you score a goal in hockey, it's huge because usually the most points you score in a game are up to 4 or 5. I know the Pens just won against the Capitals. It was 8-7, which was an extremely rare game.
Crazy.
But usually it doesn't get anywhere near that good of a game. But yeah, I like hockey a lot. It's fast, it's gritty, it's physical. You can fight legally,
Yes.
which is awesome, and do it again after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just enjoy that type of sport as opposed to basketball. But I have tremendous respect for it. Like those guys are athletes.
Oh yeah, for
You know,
sure.
so baseball, I can't watch it. It's so slow. It's so slow. But again, like I have a ton of respect for the pitching. The pitching amazes me. The fact that they're able to curve the ball 100 miles per hour. You know, that's stuff's nuts. So.
All right, so we got some people waiting outside, and we did say we were doing shorter segments, and I think we might have gone as long as we used to at this point. I'm not sure. I could be an idiot, and you could be watching this proving me wrong, saying I'm an idiot, but that's fine. But
if you think Dave's an idiot, leave it in the comments below.
Yes, actually, we do comments. We've never gotten one, but if you want to comment, go ahead. So thanks for joining us on the first edition of What Up. We'll have a more diverse group of people up here. I'll be here every week at least. Brennen will probably be here every week.
Most likely, we'll see what happens.
I'm hoping that Ray will be here every week, but you never know. We might have more people. Matt Schinkel will be back eventually. Sean Mead has night class, so he probably won't be around.
Probably won't be here at all if he has night class.
Yeah, probably. But, you know, we may end up shooting on a different day at some point, and he could get in. But thanks for joining us. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit like, and check out the rest of our content. There will be more coming throughout the semester, lots of new things maybe, some of the old stuff, more of the old stuff. Thanks for joining us.